Sorry about the audio. It's not working properly, so.
What happened, Solan?
I don't know.
Mm.
Hello, Brother Brian. Your mic is muted.
Yes, sorry about that. My apologies. I pressed the wrong button and I logged out. All right, let's get started. No, we didn't have a class last week because of the rain, right? So we missed out a lot. So let me just bring up um all right, so hold on. All right, the handout that I sent to you at the start of the term, you should have an online copy of that handout that I sent to you. I sent it to your WhatsApp. I think either email or WhatsApp, one of them. You can just access it if you want. You don't have to, right? Because the questions are in PowerPoint. But you can look to it for guidance. That's exercise 2A, exercise 2A, right? Which would have been the second page of the handout. Exercise 2A, after the examples that were given, that is what we're going through at this time. Hold on. All right. All right, just give me a second here. All right, so we are doing this exercise 2A here. And we're going through some of the questions here, right? Let's put that. All right, so we're dealing with powers, as I told you. And we're going to do the first question now from that exercise 2A. All right, so this, I hope this doesn't look confusing to you, but basically what I've done here, I've started question 1 here, and because the length of the page wasn't long enough, I continued doing it over in this section here. So I've done that for some of the questions. So I started here and then continue on this side of the page.
Yes, sir.
All right. So exercise 2A says 2 to the 5th power, right? That's 2 to the 5th power or 2 to the 5 in the C. So we'd say 5th as in F-I-F-T-H, right? 5th power, right? So 2 to the 5th power is equal to, and as we have said before, the power, the small number at the top right hand side of the number letter represents the how many times you're going to find the product of the number or multiply the number. So that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 5 2s, right? So we're multiplying 2 by itself, 5 quantities of 2 multiply by itself. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. All right, so 2 times 2 here equal 4 down here. All right, everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then 4 times 2, right, is 8 down here. And 8 times 2 is 16 up here. And 16 times 2 is 32, right? So let's go through that again. 2 to the 5th power equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16, and 16 times 2 equals 32. All right. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir. So in other words, we could say like 2 to the 5th is 2 multiplied 5 times by itself.
All right. You are correct. Repeat again. Say that again. Repeat that again.
To make it simple, we can say 2
Yeah.
to the 5th is 2 multiplied 5 times by itself.
Yes, that's correct. Exactly it, right? So 2 to the 5th is the same thing as saying 2 multiplied by itself 5 times. Correct.
Yes, sir.
That's correct. And that's simpler and that's easy to remember. All right. Number 1B, a to the 3rd power, or a to the 3 in the C. All right. So we're gonna have 8 times 8. As was said, it's 8 times itself 3 times. So 8 times 8 times 8. So 8 times 8, the first part here is 64. 64 times 8 is 512. All right. So let's go through that again. 8 to the 3rd power. 8 to the 3rd power, the same thing as 8 by times itself 3 times. So 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 gives 64 down here. And 64 times 8 gives you 512. So that is the answer there. Everybody can see that? Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Israel and Golding, you see that?
Yes, sir. Here it
Okay.
is.
All right, great, great. All right, number 1C. So you have 4 to the 5th power. 4 to the 5th power, right? So, all right, before I, all right, all of you have access to the exercise, right? All of you have access to
No, sir.
questions?
No, sir.
Oh, no, oh, okay. All right, okay. Does everybody have a phone?
Let us only have one, sir.
No, sir.
Everybody has a phone with them?
I have mine with me, sir.
Israel and Golding have your phone?
I don't have one, sir.
Where I said no?
Israel is no, no, sir.
Sorry, Israel what?
Israel don't have a phone, sir.
Oh, Israel doesn't have a phone. All right. All right. Okay. I was gonna give you a question, but no, it's okay. All right, let's go through this together. 4 to the 5th power. So that's 4 times itself 5 times. So 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, right? So 4 times 4 give you 16, right? Bring down the other 4s. 16 times 4 give you 64. Bring down the other 4s. 64 times 4 give you 256. Bring down the last remaining 4. And 256 times 4 give you 1,024.
Yes, sir.
We'll go through that again. 4 to the 5th power is 4 times itself 5 times. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 give you 16. 16 times 4 give you 64. 64 times 4 give you 256. And 256 times 4 give you 1,024. All right. All right. Great. All right. Number 2A. 3 to the 4th power. 3 to the 4th power is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Again, a simpler way of saying it, 3 to the 4th power is 3 times itself 4 times, right? 3 times itself 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 give you 9. Bring down the other 2 3s. 9 times 3 give you 27. Bring down the other 3. 27 times 3 give you 81. Okay, let's go
Yes.
through that. Well, I think you're getting the gist of it, right? So let's continue. So that's 2A. All right, let me go through it again. 3 to the 4th power, same thing as 3 times itself 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 give you 9. 9 times 3 give you 27. And 27 times 3 give you 81, right? So
Yes,
that's the answer there. All right, number 2B, this is simple, 10 to the 1. And remember what we said, that all numbers, anytime you see any number in mathematics by itself, it normally means that there's a 1 at the right-hand side of it, right? There's an imaginary 1 there. So 10 to the 1 is 10, because basically 10 is only represented once, right? So the answer is 10. The 1 means that 10 is only present one time, right? If it was 10 to the 2 now, it will be 10 times 2, right? So 10 to the 1 is the same thing as 10, right? Because the 10 is only present one time, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Now 10 to the 5, right? That's 2C, 10 to the 5. 10 to the 5 is 10 times itself 5 times. So 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, right? Which is 100,000. Now remember, whenever you're multiplying with any number with a 0 behind it, all you have to do is add, if you're multiplying whether tens or hundreds or millions or thousands, you don't have to go through the long process. All you have to do is put back the 1 and put back all the zeros that are in the question. So right here we have 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. A simpler way. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yes, sir. Put back all the zero then.
Yeah, all right. What I'm saying, let me just show you let me show you what I'm saying. Hold on. Give me a second here. All right, what I'm saying, right, is that anytime you're multiplying with, for example, tens, right? Does pure tens or hundreds or thousands, any number with a 1 and a 0 behind it, anytime you're multiplying those numbers only. So, for example, if it's 10 times 10 or 10 times 100, right? All you have to do when you're working the question is, let's deal with this one. All you have to do for the answer is put back the 1, count the number of zeros, which is 1, 2, 3, and put the number of zeros that you get behind the 1, and that's the answer. So you don't need a calculator. So 10 times 100, you just put back a 1, count the number of zeros in the question, 1, 2, 3, and put the same number of zeros for your answer. So it's 1, right? Number 1, then 3 zeros, which is 1,000, right? So that's what you do when you're multiplying with tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, any number with a 1 and 0 behind it. Let me give you a better example. Let me give you a better example. All right. Okay. Suppose I have 10 times 10 times 1,000. All I'm going to do is put a 1 for the answer. All I'm going to do is put a 1 and then count the number of zeros in the question. How many zeros are in this question, Nicholas?
5, sir.
5. All you do is put back 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, so you see, when you finish, you go back on the question with the thousands. Let me show you what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you get this as an answer, 100,000, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. You go back. You said go back on the
Question on the
You mean from
sheet.
the word that the sheet?
Yeah, yeah.
This. Sorry.
Take it
Yeah.
time.
This one here.
What I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
In this
Repeat. Yeah. Go
section,
ahead.
it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. I should also count the 0 at the top at the beginning as well, right?
No, you mean this one right here?
Yes.
No. Those the ones when you separate them out. That's
Oh.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those these right here.
I thought I saw six. Okay.
No.
Zeros.
These,
Okay.
yeah. So that's how you get it. All right. And then another way is that if you get a question like this and all you have to do, well, I don't want to complicate it. It's best to do it the way I'm telling you, just like this. Just count the number of zeros here, not up here, and put it back. So that's how you do it. All right, let's move on. Number 3A. I don't like this question, but we have to do it. 6 to the 3, right? 6 to the 3 is, so you're gonna have 6 times itself 3 times. So it's 6 times 6 times 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 6 is 260, right?
Yes,
216. All right. So we'll go over that again. It's 6 to the 3, which is equal to 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 give you 36. 36 times 6 give you 216. So that's the answer for question number 3.
yes.
All right. Let's move on to number 3B, I think. Sorry, 4A. All right. We have 2 to the 3rd times 3 to the 2. So this is a bit different now. So no longer are we only finding the powers. When you multiply the powers, we're expanding it to multiply them as well. So we have 2 to the 3 times 3 to the 2. And with mathematics, we just take our time and do them in stages. So the first part we're going to do is the power part, right? Now 2 to the 3 means 2 by itself 3 times, which is 2 times 2 times 2, right? So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So we get 8 down here, right? Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then now for 3 to the 2 is 3 times itself 2 times. So we're gonna have 3 times 3, right? Right here, 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. So you put the 9 down here, right? And then now after that, we're gonna multiply 8 times 9. And 8 times 9 gives you 72. 8 times 9 gives you 72 as the answer. All right?
Yes,
8
sir.
times 9 gives you 72. All right, let me go over that again. So we have 2 to the 3, or 2 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 2nd power. So 2 to the 3 is the same thing as 2 times itself 3 times. So it's 2 times 2 times 2, right? And we're going to have 3 to the 2nd power, which is the same thing as 3 times itself 3 times. 3 times itself 2 times, not 3 times. 3 times itself 2 times, which is 3 times 3. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 here. We bring back down the multiple sign from up here, times, in brackets, 3 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, so we get 8. Bring back down the multiplication sign here. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we're going to find 8 times 9. And 8 times 9 gives you 72, right? All right. Let me go over that again, right? 2 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 2nd power. All right, you know, to make it simpler, we can say 2 to the 3, right? 2 to the 3 times 3 to the 2, just to make it simpler, right? So 2 to the 3 is the same thing as 2 times it 3 times, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, right? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. We'll bring back down the multiplication sign in each step. And we also have 3 to the 2, which is 3 times itself 2 times. So 3 times 3. which is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And we bring down back the multiplication sign. And then we say 8 times 9 gives you 72 as the answer. All right. All right. Good. Now, this is a bit different as well, because now we're finding the powers of the numbers, the answer when you put the numbers to certain powers, but we're also adding whatever answers we get, we add. So 1 to the 4, the same thing as 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. Right? That's 1 to the 4, because 1 to the 4 is 1 times itself 4 times, plus 3 to the 4, which is 3 times itself 4 times, plus 5 to the 4, which is 5 times itself 4 times. So 1 to the 4 is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, plus 3 to the 4, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, plus 5 to the 4, which is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Now, I didn't want the question to be too long, so I just went ahead and worked it out, right? So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1 as well. 1 times 1 is 1. So the answer is 1. No, if you multiply 1 by itself a million times, it's still going to get 1. Anything you multiply by 1 is going to be the same answer. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81, right? Because 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And 27 times 3 is 81. That's how we get 81, right? So let me say that again. 3 times 3 is 9. This is 9. Then 9 times 3 here is 27. And then 27 times 3 here is 81. No, sorry. 5 times 5 is 25, right? All right, let me just say this. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5 is 625. For questions like these, you can use your phone with your calculator. Most phones have a calculator. So if you're doing a test or exam or homework, I'll allow you to use the phone to work it out, to get the answer. I don't have a problem with that. To just calculate it using your phone. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Sure.
In the first, second, third section where it says 1 plus 81 plus 625, right?
Yeah.
When you look on this, say 82 plus 625. So what you did in the third row was add the 1 to the 81 and put down 82 and leave the 625.
Yes, that's what I did. Yes.
Understand.
Yes. And then we add the 82 and the 625 and get 707. All right, good, great. You're following, great. All right, so I'm not gonna go over that again. I don't want to confuse you, so we'll leave it there, right? Let's continue. We have 5a, 5 to the 4 plus 4 to the square, right? And 5 to the 4 is 5 times itself 4 times, right? That's 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Bring down the plus sign. I have 4 to the 2 is 4 times itself 2 times, which is 4 times 4. Now 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, we'll bring that down here. 4 times 4, bring that down here. This time I broke it down, right? So 5 times 5 is 25, right? 5 times 5, 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5 is 625, right? And at the same time, 4 times 4 is 16, right? 16, and we bring down the 16 here. So we have 625 plus 16. So 625 plus 16 is 641. So the answer here is 641. All right. Okay.
Answer.
Yes.
Cover that one for me.
Oh. Hold on, students.
Yes, sir.
Give me a few minutes. My grandma is not well, and the person taking care of her is calling me. Give me a few minutes.
All right.
Yes, so, sorry about that. My grandmother is not too well, and I just had to the person was calling me about something related to her. All right, let's continue. All right. So all right. Okay. Number 5B. Somebody had a question. Oh, brother Nicholas, you had a question?
He wanted you to go over it.
Go over it. Okay.
Yes,
All right. So we have 5 to the 4 plus 4 to the 2. And 5 to the 4 is 5 by times itself 4 times. So it's 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 plus 4 to the 2, which is 4 times itself. So 5 times 5. So we bring down the 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 here. We bring it down, right? As you can see here. And we have 4 times 4. Bring that down as well. 4 times 4. So over here now, what we're doing is, in this one, we're taking it step by step. So 5 times 5 give you 25, right? And we're bringing down by the other 2 5s, times 5 times 5. Bring down the plus sign and bring down the 4 times 4. 25 times 5 give you 125. 125, and bring down back this 5 here. So 125 times 5 plus 4 times 4 give you 16. Bring down back the 16. 125 times 5 give you 625. 625 plus 16 give you 641. Right? 625 plus 16 give you 641. Right? Let me go through that again. 5 to the 4 is 5 times itself 4 times, which is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 4 to the 2 is 4 times itself 2 times. 4 times 4. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Bring that down. Bring down the 4 times 4. And 5 times 5 give you 25, right? Times 5 times 5 plus 4 times 4. 25 times 5 give you 125. Bring down back the 5 up here. Yes. Yes.
Third row. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, right there. So we're gonna do 5 times 5 first.
Yes. We do the yes.
Or I'm gonna times 5 3 times or 2 times. Which one? 3
All
times.
right. So we're gonna say 5 times 5. We're gonna multiply by itself 4 times, but how we do it, right? Is these two is one, right?
Yeah.
And then this is 2, right? And then this is 3, right? So 5, you could call that 3, right? But it's 5, the 5 appears 4 times. The 5 appear 4 times. So it's 1 multiplication here, 2 multiplication here, 3 multiplication here. You see that?
5 times 5, 25.
Times 5. So it's 5 times itself. So the 5 appears 4 times, right? 4 times. But because we're pairing it each time we multiply, we pair it. So we pair this first. You know, you understand when I say pair? 2 of them? We pair this first, and we get 25. Then we pair the 25 with this 5, and we get 125. And then we pair the 125 with the 5. So it's 3 pairs of multiplication. But I don't want to confuse it. It's 5 times itself 4 times, but we do it in stages, right? I'm just doing this, in stages. 5 times 5, 20, 25. 25 times, sorry. 25 times 5, 125, and so forth. All right, we'll continue this next week, right? Oh, who's that?
Brother, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
There's one thing that I would like to bring along is
Yes.
that we must not make the mistake to do the addition first before the multiplication. Like,
Right.
for example, we can plus or addition 5 plus 16, and then after multiply by 125. We must multiply 125 by 5, then we will plus the result by 16.
Right, that's true. That's correct. He's right. We multiply first before we add. BODMAS, brackets before off, before division, before multiplication, before addition, and before subtraction. So I'll touch on that next week. But never add before you multiply. Always multiply first before you add. Same thing for division. Always divide first before you add. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll try to start back. Remind me, Nicholas, to start back from this question next week.
5A.
All right. Right. Let me remind me. Okay. All right. So God's willing next week then, and thank you.
Yes.